Coming up on this episode, I talk about FOMO, which is the fear of missing out, and a few of my life experiences and how I tend to overcome FOMO in my own life. So let's get into it. What's going on, people? This is the Perspective Chaser podcast, and I'm your host, John. On this episode, I want to talk about FOMO. So FOMO is the fear of missing out, and these days it's heavily perpetuated in social media, but it's existed long before then. But the thing is that we all think that we're going to be missing out on something, and in reality, there's more than likely something more amazing going on elsewhere in the world. But you're not always going to be a part of it. That's just reality. So starting with accepting the fact that you're going to miss some things, that's numero uno. But the thing is, your life is yours to control. So if you want to be a part of more exciting things, put yourself in more exciting surroundings. Become a more exciting person. Develop interests and hobbies and develop a character. Don't just be a blank slate and worrying about missing out on everybody else's events and that. I think I struggled with that a lot as a child. The thought of missing out on things or not necessarily being a part of things. Maybe not for the whole of my childhood, but definitely for a part of it when I was like an early teenager. And it's a blessing and a curse, I guess. There's things that you learn from it, and there's things that are obviously uncomfortable or whatever else. But the reality is that it's always going to come up. It's just about how you deal with it. Just like any other type of anxiety or any other type of negative feeling. It's always going to have an element of truth to it. But that's okay. The more important thing tends to be what you focus on and what you see the value of it is. So if you see the value in going to an event and socializing with complete strangers, to you that's valuable. And missing out on opportunities like that may be detrimental to you. But somebody that's family orientated or don't like partying or focus on their religion or has any other focus in life isn't gonna worry about missing those events. So they're only important to you. And that's going to be true for everyone. Like anything, we're all living from our own perspective in life. So all of those fears of missing out on something, they're only your fears. And it's the reality is, if you knew everything that was going on in the world, there's probably a lot of other things that you'd be choosing to do other than the thing that you've got FOMO about. So, understanding the position in the grand scheme of things is going to help a lot. There is going to be so much life experience out there that you'll have more opportunities to experience X, Y, or Z. More often than not, anyway. There will always be those rare one-off phenomenons, but hey, we can't cover all the bases all the time, can we? But that really is it. Look, accept the fact that sometimes you're going to miss things. That's life. Suck it up and move on. It's not the end of life. And the thing is, everybody thinks or everybody portrays the next big event or the next big product or whatever else to be the be all and end all. Yeah. Give it a couple of weeks or months after that thing's dropped and a new one will be out. So it's always going to be a perpetuating cycle. So just step back and see the cycle for what it is. See that really and truly you're not actually missing out on anything. So there's nothing to fear in the first place. It's a fairly simple concept, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of reminding. Trust me, I still do it. I still think of, I'm going to miss out on this opportunity or I'm going to miss on that. And sometimes I have to sit there with a smile on my face and let these opportunities pass me by. Other times I jump up and grab them. But again, it's about being wise enough to know the difference. And that's what life teaches you. So sometimes you will have to miss out on a few things for you to realise that they weren't important in the first place. Or you might miss out on a few things to realise they were the very thing that was the most important thing to you. But it all helps to gain that perspective in life. But sitting down, crying about it, and just having FOMO, or whatever the terminology you want to use for it, ain't going to do you favours. So pick yourself up and do something with your life. It's your life. If you're worried about missing out on something, do something. If you're the one doing it, it's going to be hard for you to miss out on it, isn't it? Unless you're one of those people that's late to their own party. But hey ho. The world takes many types after all. But really and truly, that I can't really blabber much on more about FOMO because my mind's just out there at the minute. But I still wanted to do this episode. I didn't want to miss the opportunity to do this episode, ironically. Now, this one's been on my list for a while. It's just one that I felt that I could talk about today. But yeah, like, genuinely, we're all infinitesimal specks of dust in a never-ending universe. It's easy to forget that because we have names and identities and jobs and lives and heartbeats and thoughts and feelings and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But reality eventually will all be nothing. Or as close to nothing as we can conceive anyway. On that rather chipper note, I'm going to wrap this episode up because my mind's not with it today. But hey, we'll get there. The seed for this episode is going to be... what would the seed for this episode be? Because I've said a lot of sit with yourself bits and that. Don't sit with yourself this week. The seed for this episode is going to be get outdoors for a little bit. So the sun's just started to come out in the UK and that, and it is a good feeling. So to keep that rolling on, like get out in nature, go hug a tree, put your feet on the ground, smell some flowers, listen to the birds sing, whatever it is. Get out and get out there in the world. Because you never know, you might miss out on nature if you stand by too long. And that is a depressive thought. So just take some time and actually exist in the world. Switch off from the social media and all of the stimuli. And just slow down for a little bit. Ground yourself, literally and metaphorically. And enjoy just being outdoors in the world for a little bit. That's where we was meant to be after all. Not shutting away in four walls. All the best, and I'll catch you on the next one.